and welcome to the Pusuit of Healthiness podcast. I'm your host, Winanda van Delft. I'm a health and mindset coach, spaghetti and ice cream lover, travel junk, and a cat mom. I love conversations that are on a more raw and deeper level. And today's guest is Yobe. She's a serial entrepreneur, New Yorker, and a toddler mom. Yobe's career in the education field started when she took on a part-time job during the senior year of college as a private preschool teacher, but then was quickly promoted to become the school's director. She is now owner of several private schools, and her focus is on teaching love, inclusion, and the beauty of diversity. She's also coaching other women to start and grow their educational business. And fun fact, she's also a published author who writes stories about the celebration of Asian children, families, and cultures. In today's episode, we're going to talk about children's education and the difference between cultures. So, welcome, Yobe, to my podcast. How is everything today?
Hello, I'm so happy to be here. Things are getting better today. We just got over a huge storm in New York City. So it's very cold here, but today is day 2 of the storm and things are settling down.
Okay, well, we already talked a little bit before this interview, so I already know a little bit about you, but can you share a little bit about yourself for the listeners?
Yeah, I am a serial entrepreneur, a mommy, and an educator and businesswoman. My business is in education. I own a few private preschools in New York City. I started my first business when I quit my job as a teacher in New York City, and I never looked back. And now I am a published author. I write children's books, and I help other women aspiring authors publish their own children's books as well.
Oh, that is amazing. Why did you quit being a teacher? Why did you start your own school?
I am very driven to have something of my own. And I always wanted to kind of own a preschool. I worked at a preschool as a teacher, and then I became the director where I managed the business, and I learned the entire business from inside out. And then I felt that I was prepared to kind of have my own program where I could run the business based on my philosophy, how I wanted to do a few things with the students, the teachers, the families, based on what I believe in and what I learned in university. And that's why I just set out to do it. And I took a step at a time, and here I am today.
Amazing. So what are the difference between your school and the school you've been teaching on? Because you said you have a different philosophy. So what is that?
Yeah. I mean, in New York City, we have many different types of parenting philosophies and parents. There's a huge population of parents here believe in focus on academics, where we want our children to be reading by age 4 or 5, or some of them even 3. I've worked with a lot of those families. And then we have families who just want their child to play. So it's very like a split. I don't even know how to say it. And some schools are trying to find a balance between supporting the families, making them happy, and then teachers, if you're not in the right school that have your philosophy, that believes in what you want. I believe in a balance. I believe that the child should play and have a happy childhood, but I also believe that they need foundational skills in academics, because that's why you go to school. You can be super duper happy and have free play and learn through play when you're young in preschool. But eventually, once you go to kindergarten, 1st and 2nd grade, you still need certain skills and habits. So I believe in finding a balance between two, learning, develop a great foundation for academic habits, and not quitting when things get hard, and not learn to talk your way out of things. Create there's that are and do the work that's expected of you. Because once they are adults and they have a job, you can't really talk your way out of things and say, I don't want to do it. No. So I want them to kind of learn it when they're younger. So that's why I decided to do my own school.
Yeah, it's a good thing to teach the children at a young age those things, because children are like sponges, right? They take everything,
Yeah.
and I love that.
Yeah.
I think you can learn children so much. Um, but do you think that those skills, it's your job to teach them, or is it the parents' job to teach
Oh
them?
my gosh. You just asked me $1 million question, right?
Yeah.
Um, I think it's both the teachers and the parent, and you cannot be successful if you don't work together with the family. You can't teach them certain skills and not have it supported at home, and you can't, and vice versa. But this day and age is so tough. I don't know how is it in your country, but in New York City, United States, the parents are working a lot. So in my city, New York City, a lot of the families are both parents are working a lot of hours, 40, 50, 60, 70 hours a week, and there's almost no time to be with their child. And our preschools and daycares are now running 12 hours a day, 10 hours a day.
Oh, wow.
So the preschools and the daycare center are raising these children, and the parents will have a few hours at home to feed them, put them to bed, and then on the weekends. So a lot of them feel really guilty to say no. It's easier to say yes to your child and just get through the day. So I see the struggle a lot of our families are facing, but I still believe it has to come both ways, that we are a partnership in this.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree too. Like there are some skills. I think social skills is something that you should learn at home, and more the academics at school.
Yeah.
Something like that. I think that's the perfect balance.
Yeah. These
Yeah.
days it's every because we have them 10 hours a day, at minimum 8 hours to 10 hours a day. We have
Wow.
to teach them everything: self skills, independent skills, tying your own shoes, social skills, academic skills, everything.
Wow, that puts up a lot of pressure on you, or not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. On the teachers. The teachers are very hardworking.
Yeah. Wow. That's I cannot imagine. I mean, when I went to school, it was for at that time it was about for the feeling for I thought it was I've been in school the whole day, but now I'm like, you start at 9, then you have a break at 10, then you have another break at 12, then you go home, have your lunch, and then you go back at 1, and then you're done at 3 again. So
Good
basically,
for you.
how many
This is
hours are
this
you at
is
school?
you're in the Netherlands, right? When you were growing up,
Yeah.
you're Dutch, and that's not the case for me in Americas. I was in school from 8 in the morning to 3 p.m., and I have tests and reading assessments and all of that thing. Even when I was younger, at first and second
Really?
grade, they test me when I was in first and second grade every quarter to make sure I'm hitting the benchmarks, the goals. It's a very different educational system. I maybe
Yeah.
I will send my daughter over to Europe. My husband loves the European way of
Yeah.
education.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, if I hear it like this, then yes, definitely I love it. Like it's, but even because in the Netherlands, I think the education quality is really, really good, especially when I compare it with the Canary Islands, the Spanish islands where I am now. I feel like those children, the education quality is really bad, and they even have less
Mm.
hours than I had, because they start, I think, at 9, and at 1:30 they're already done, and I'm like,
Who
oh
takes
my god.
who takes care of these children? Are the mommy's home or the daddy's home?
uh
They
Grandmothers,
gotta have.
mostly grandmothers, or
Wow.
family, because over here also, both parents have to work all day,
Yeah.
especially because we still have, it depends on the company that you work in, but a lot of
Mm-hmm.
companies still have a siesta. So that's like a break between, I would say, 2 and 4, or 3 and 5, something like that. And then they work until 9, 10, 11, 12 at night. So it's really
Mm-hmm.
different over here. And a lot of the children have, like, outside of school, they have dance classes or something else, to keep them occupied, because the
I
parents have to
see.
work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not
But
easy being
it's
a parent these days.
No, but they are really focused on families over here. Like I see it, especially every
Good.
Saturday over here. You see all the families outside in the park, and just enjoying
Yeah.
each other's time. And but then it's really the time of the family, like the whole family, not just the family with the mother and the children and the father, but really like the grandmothers and the aunts and the uncles. Like everybody is together, and that's something
Mm-hmm.
that I love to see over here, and that is nothing like in the Netherlands. In the Netherlands, it's really like everyone is an individual, and if you want to do something, you have to, make an appointment and write it in your agenda before you can see each other. Yeah, I don't know if that's a good thing, but uh, I've seen both worlds now. But I think I'm more kind of
Mm-hmm.
I prefer it to be with family
Yeah,
than
I
just
agree.
yeah. But how is it over there? Because you said that everybody is working so much, and only in the weekend you have basically time for your family.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I work so much. My husband worked around the clock. Um, and I'm so grateful that I am now in the preschool business and my daughter can come to my school and I can see her, spend some time with her, and she's getting an education. But we have families here that I've known for 4 or 5 years, and they work around the clock as well. A lot of them are young professionals. We're a private school, so um, they pay pretty hefty tuition to be here, and a lot of them have mortgages, work, um, bills to pay, and daycare. So they have to work.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's just tough, but they're doing a really great job. We have wonderful, wonderful parents in all of our centers, and they really try to um, be there for their child as well.
Yeah. That's amazing. Does that influence your writing as well? Because you're writing children's books. Does that
Yes,
influence it in any way?
yes. Every single time I write a children's book, and I put out 6 books in the last 2 years, 4 of them in the last 6 months. I
Oh
published
wow.
4 books in the last 6 months, and I make sure how do I say it? I make sure I include everyone's stories. I want to make sure my books are very multicultural. I want to make sure that all the families are well represented, mixed families, blended families, um, multicultural families, and all of their stories are slightly incorporated into these books. So our students and our children and our families reading it will feel represented and a positive light about their story so they don't feel guilty. Like mom's guilt and dad's guilt, it's real, it's real.
Yeah.
So reading the book with them kind of helped them create that bond and answer a lot of questions for children. So a lot of my books are focused on holidays, and I have a storyline for Asian holidays where we are educating the students about traditions and spending time together. My whole message behind this is spending time together with your family through holidays.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Because you're talking about the Chinese culture, is it really different than from the US or from Europe?
No, that's such a great question. You're asking amazing questions. So I wrote about Asian holidays because it's so untalked. It's just not talked about, and there just aren't a lot of Asian authors out there. But the concept is the same. Family is family, no matter where you're from. Like parents loving their children, they all have different kinds of holidays and traditions, but it's all about spending time together and passing the traditions to the next generation and being together. So they could read a story about the Asian holidays and how it's completely family oriented, but in their own traditions and cultures.
Yeah,
Does it make
because
sense?
yeah, but I would like to know more about that actually, because what I know, I don't know if it's stereotypical or not, but the feeling that I get is that a lot of Asian cultures, it's a lot about how the world sees you and your family, and everything needs to be perfect and everything needs to be in place, showing to the outside world. And I feel you can tell me if it's wrong or not, but I feel that there is like a kind of a distance between the children and the parents. I don't know if that's true or not, and maybe it is for some families, but that's the idea that I get from the Asian families.
Yeah, you know, my mom will have all these traditions, and for Lunar New Year, my book, one of my first books is about Lunar New Year and how the Asian holidays, Asian community celebrate the Lunar New Year, and the Chinese, the Korean, the Japanese, the Vietnamese community celebrate it all pretty differently. They have very different traditions. That Indian population, the Thailand, people from Thailand, they all celebrate it differently, but the core value is the same. It's about being together, family, and being grateful and bringing in some good luck for the next year. And then there are a lot of things that the parents are really adamant about. We have to do this, we have to do this, we have to do this. And the child are just like, I just want to play. I just want to write envelope. I just want to eat the food, and I just don't want to go to school. But it's exposure. It's about like telling them these are the traditions that really matters to our culture. And eventually over the years, they will learn. And when they become parents, when the little children become parents, they know what are some traditions that the parents do, and they will most likely follow the traditions and do it with their children. It's just a matter of like time and learning it and adapting it, and just kind of following the traditions and passing it on to the next generation.
Yeah.
But when they're younger, they don't care for it. When I was younger, I did not want to celebrate Lunar New Year because I don't want to go to my auntie's house, my grandma's house, and spend a whole day and say, Happy Lunar New Year, and sit there for 4 hours. I just want my lucky money. I just want my red envelope. I want people to feed me. It's just a very selfish thing when you're younger. But when you're older, you start to appreciate a lot more.
Yeah. I think that's with every kid. Like we celebrate in the Netherlands, we celebrate Sinterklaas. Like Santa Claus, the for Christmas came out of that actually.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you know a little bit about that. But now there is like a whole discussion going on because they use I think maybe you've heard of it or not. They use Black Pete. It's like his little helper, but he's bringing little presents and food. But now there's a whole movement going on that it's racist because they are Black, and it's a lot.
Yeah.
But as a kid, you don't see it that way. The only thing that I was thinking, like, oh, I get presents and I get food, you know?
Yeah.
It's so different. It's mostly the adults making a fight about it. It's sad.
Yeah, I mean, we have it in the New York too. We have a group of families that really want to continue to teach about the Christmas magic and Santa Claus. And then we have a group of parents that wants to tell their child Santa Claus is not real.
Yeah.
And want to teach them right from the get-go that Santa Claus is a made-up story. The person that buys you the gift is your mom and dad.
Yeah.
And you can never satisfy everyone.
No.
Everyone have a different philosophy and different mindset. So, I mean, do whatever you want to do with your child. It's your child, and it doesn't hurt. It really doesn't hurt.
No, exactly. What are the traditions that you do with your kid?
I should do more with my child. We're so busy, but I should do more of my child. I try to teach them about Santa Claus. I want her to know that there are Santa Claus when she's younger, and when she's older, I would tell them that, hey, it's mommy and daddy, and they will figure it out. They
Yeah.
will figure it out, and then but when they're younger, I want them to be happy and have belief in magic and believe in um, just the fun of things. And when they're older, they will say, "Oh, Santa Claus is fake." Yep, yep.
Yeah.
But you can still believe in magic.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's I would raise if I have children ever. I think that's how I would raise them too, especially because I've been raised like that, and obviously I know now that Santa Claus and Santa Claus aren't real, but it didn't damage me. It's not a mentally damaged because of that. So I think it's
Yeah,
also just about showing
I
them
had
about belief, like you said.
I have so much fun believing in tooth fairy, Santa Claus, and all of that until I was older. I'm like, okay, it was always my mommy.
Yeah.
But I appreciated my mommy doing all of those for me, putting $1 or putting 50 cents every single time I lost my tooth.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
just fun.
it is. Well, we didn't really have the tooth fairy. I've tried it and then I didn't have money and I was like, oh, they never got me. But then I realized, it's fake. But
Well,
it's it's just fun to have the kids watch those things so differently than adults
mhm.
do. And it's kind of sad. It's making me sad. Like I've told you about the Sinterklaas with the whole Black Pete. The children don't see it. And the sad thing now, they are trying to change the color. Now they have like a rainbow Pete, and they are painting them like they are coming from the chimney, stuff like that, because it's celebrated on the 5th of December. So it's around the same time as the Christmas and Santa Claus. Um, so I don't care that the children grow up with that image. But the sad thing is because the tradition is that Santa Claus comes in a boat around November, the end of November, and is giving gifts and giving presents. But that will stay the same. But now at those how do you say it? Like everybody's waiting in the harbor for him to come in, and but now there are a lot of riots, like people going into a fight with each other. And I think that is the sad thing, because that's what children see. Children don't see the happy the happy moment and the happy situation. They now link that tradition to having fights and adults fighting with each other and screaming at each other and calling each other names. And I think that's the most sad part about everything. Like, I don't care if traditions change, and they change with time. I mean, we used to have traditions of women who they suspected to be a witch, to put them and burn them alive. I mean, that used to be tradition as well. So it's good that traditions change, but
Yeah.
I think they
I
need
would
to.
say that I'm very happy with Americans um, putting a lot of different um, fun for children. We have Santa. We have what is it called in October? We have, oh my God, I'm having a blank, but I
Halloween.
Halloween. Yeah, they have Halloween. They have so much fun. They have Christmas. They have so much fun. They have Thanksgiving. They have so much fun. And like, these children are always celebrating and having fun. And I think it's so important to have them just have fun.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad that we're talking about Christmas and all the holidays, because it is the holiday season
Yes.
and people are talking about this and people are thinking about this. So I'm so glad we're talking about all of
Yeah.
this.
Yeah. Yeah. And they also have, like, even the Easter bunny. Like, a lot of children know it's fake, but they still have joy in that and searching for eggs. And I think we should be more like children. Have a
We
little like
should.
fun in life and see the magic and just do whatever we want. not literally, but
I mean, like, we have such a hard year in 2020. We have the coronavirus. We have a ton of things that are really not going well. So we have to kind of believe in hope, believe in having fun, and just making sure that our kids are happy.
Exactly.
And yeah,
not just the kids. We need to make ourselves happy as well.
Yeah, and I have been working with a lot of authors, aspiring authors, to write all these books because children love books and they read about all the fun stuff that they can do with all the holidays.
Yeah, I like that you write about all the holidays. Like it's something different.
Yes.
Is there something else that you want to write about, or do you want to stick it with the holidays?
Oh, I want to write about a lot of things. I want to write about travel. My newest book is called Asian Adventures A to Z. It's an ABC book about all the Asian not holidays, all the Asian travel and traditions and food and things like that. But I don't just write about Asians stories. I also write about testing. I have a book about putting a 4-year-old to take a gifted and talented test. In New York, we make our students 4 or 5-year-old to take a gifted and talented test. And I try to help them understand why they have to sit through 45 minutes or 70 minutes and answer 78 questions.
Yeah.
And helping them understand that you have to try your best with taking a test. And if you pass, you can go to a great school. And it's just like parents can wrap their head around it. When you're 4-year-olds, you are going to take this test to tell you if you are gifted and talented and how smart you are. And based on the test scores, you will go to a good school or a regular general ed school.
Yeah.
And I read about things that affect our families in my school, and just to help them out to have the language, because a lot of parents don't have the language to tell their kids why they have to do certain things. I don't want parents to tell their kids, you just have to do it because you have to do it.
Oh, I hate that answer.
You have to do it because you have to do it, and it is what it is.
Because I tell you to.
Yeah, because I said so, because you have to take the test and then you have to pass and you have to go to a good school, because once you go to a good school, you have free education and one of the top of gifted and talented classes. So that's one of my books, to help the children understand that you just need to try your best, and that's all you have to do.
Yeah.
And the outcome is the outcome. So I write about that as well.
Yeah, because that puts a lot of pressure on children and on parents as well.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's more stressful for the parents because they want their child to pass the test and get a 99 percentile. So out of 78 questions, they have to get about 70 correct. Can you imagine a 4-year-old taking a test for 45 minutes? Like, who has the attention span? I don't have the attention span to take a test for 45 minutes, and a 4-year-old have to do it and pass.
Crazy. Yeah. But what do you think about the education system in general? I know it's maybe, you cannot be 100%,
how do you say it? Like, of course you have benefit of this, or you know, you have your own school, but I think it's not a great way to teach our children that you have to get your diploma, or you have to go to college, or you have to go to university to you know, to have a good job and to make money. What do you think about that? Because I think skills and knowledge are far more important than just your academic, just the paper
Yeah.
that you have.
I mean, like you were in Europe. It's
Yeah.
extremely different from America. And I grew up here and I have no choice. We have to do it. And my daughter is going to take that gifted and talented test. But my whole philosophy behind it is you don't have to pass, but you have to try your best and you have to kind of study. And, you know, and then there are people who are telling me, oh, Yobi, your whole entire business is preparing for the GNT test for children. And it will be so embarrassing if my daughter don't pass the test. Like, what does it say about my business? But I don't care. I want my whole philosophy is my daughter will try her best and do the test. And if she passed, I'll be super happy. If she doesn't, I'm still proud of her for completing the whole process.
Yeah.
Because things are going to be hard for her when she was 5 or 6 or 7 or 8, or when she becomes a teenager. And I want her to make sure she always tries her best and she does not take the easy way out.
Yeah. Yeah. That is good. I love that. But still, I think, especially now, because I didn't finish my university, I'm like, I know so much because I studied a lot myself. And because there are no tests that I have to do, or, you know, it's because I study things that I think are interesting. But in the Netherlands, it's so like you have a job, but you have to have a certain diploma or a certain master's degree before you can get the job. But I'm like, there is a difference between having the knowledge and being amazing at something. I mean, I studied graphic design. I went to an art academic and I didn't finish it, but I still have I can still do jobs. I still have a job actually as a graphic designer. I'm like, in the end, if you're passionate about something, then is it really worth to go to school, get yourself into that, and then to basically live a job
Yeah,
you
it's
studied for, but maybe
it's
you don't
so
even want to do that.
stressful. It's so stressful, and I know that your podcast is about talking about health and
happiness,
balancing health and happiness, and it's so stressful. And I don't know how many people are very happy
yeah,
going through all of this process. And it's super important for your mindset to know that it's okay if your child do not pass. If they do really well, of course you're so happy, you're so proud, but you should not base your happiness just on test scores or
exactly.
how well your child is doing. So I work with a lot of families, and just to meet with them and help them understand that this is just a very minor part of your happiness. What brings me joy is if my child is happy.
Yeah.
That is the most. And if I'm happy, I mean, I've gotten so sick, and I've gotten all kinds of health issues in the last 5 or 6 years building my business because I was so fixated on the results, bringing in the money, paying all my bills and growing my business. I grew my business to over several locations. I have now 5 businesses, and it's super duper stressful, and it took a toll on my health. And people don't know that. People on social media knows how happy I am, how good things are, because you put out happy things to show everyone. But there are a lot of struggles, and I think people need to talk about their struggles a little bit more. Raising a family in New York City or anywhere, right? Making that how much is enough in terms of money. And I this year, because of coronavirus, I really took a step back and thought about what's more important to me, what's more important in life. I think that it's time. I don't want to trade time with money anymore. Time is more important, memories are more important, and the money will come. And that's the biggest takeaway that I have because of coronavirus. And I used the opportunity to really, because I quarantined, I wrote, all my schools were shut down because of quarantine, and I lost a ton of money. All of the businesses I built are now, I shut down a few businesses, and I've closed for a few months, and I had to pay for all the rent. But my mindset is focus on the good. I have been home for 3 months. I spent a lot of time with my family. I spent a lot of time with my daughter, and I'm healthy. So it's a whole mindset switch. And I'm extremely grateful for it. And I can rebuild my business anytime, but I want to take my time with it now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. How many times do you get the chance to spend so much time with your children? I mean, I know people who got a baby in the lockdown, and it's like, especially for fathers, like they don't get to spend as much time with the children when they are baby as moms do. So it was just so nice to see them, because it's basically a unique situation where the dad was home for almost, I would say 6 months. I mean, that opportunity is not something that many people get. So how amazing is it to spend so much time with your family, with your newborn, or with your other children like that? It's amazing.
Yeah. My husband works around the clock. And when my daughter Jean was born, he spent almost no time with her. And because of quarantine, he has done so much more and bonded with her in so many ways. So we're very grateful for that. And I think that I want to put a message for all of your listeners to not worry about most things, and just be in the moment. As long as you're healthy, your family is healthy, you have some time together. When the COVID-19 is over, hopefully it's over soon. We have some vaccines now. Things will get better soon. You just gotta ride this through. And I'm really, all my fingers and toes are crossed. So things are good. We gotta have hope. We gotta move on and have hope.
Exactly. Yes, I love that. Is there something else you would like to share as a teacher, as a business mom? Is there something else you would like to share?
Yes, I do. There's one more thing I want to share. I want to let all of your listeners kind of know that you can have it all. I didn't think I could have it all. I didn't think I can build 5 businesses in 5 or 6 years and have a child and have a very happy family. But you can. You have to kind of plan it out. You have to kind of really plan and be patient and work hard, but find your balance, and you can have a great family and do what you want to do. I don't want women to put themselves last.
No.
I did not put myself last. I've always put myself first, and my husband would tell you the same. I put myself before I put many things, my family, my husband, like the laundry, how clean my house is. And because I put myself first, I am able to build everything that I want to build, and now have the opportunity to make a choice to be with family and to do whatever I want to do and what I think is important. So women need to start putting themselves higher in the ladder. You don't have to put yourself first. If everyone has different situations in their life, but you gotta focus on yourself, because you really can't give when you have a half of cup full. You have to fill your cup. You have to fill up your cup before you can start giving things. Otherwise, you have nothing to give. So please, listeners and women, to do what you like, just like you doing a podcast just because you want to, just because you like it. So good for you.
Yeah, it was hard because it was a goal in the beginning of 2020, but I kept procrastinating. But then I was like, I have something to share. This is something that I want to do, so I'm just going to do it. And I love it. Like, even my partner said the other day, like, this is really making you happy, isn't it? And I was like, yes. He was like, yeah, I can see it. When you talk to the people, you are smiling. When you talk about it, when you are working on it, it's making you light up. And I'm like, yes. So I think we need to do more of that in our lives, like, no matter what you want to do. For me, it was a podcast, but for someone else, it could be starting your own business or something else.
Yes, this is what I want to leave with your listeners, to make sure they do and start doing. Don't stop. Don't just think about it. There's a lot of doubt. There's a lot of questions, but just do it a step at a time, and they will achieve it within, I don't know, a month, 2 months, 3 months, 1 year, 2 years, but they will achieve it. They will get where they want to get.
Exactly. Is there a way that people can contact you, or like how they can order your books or something else? How can people?
Yay! I am on Facebook, and I have a website. It's called by Yobe, my first name Yobe, my last name Qiu.com, and they can find me there. And I'm on Facebook on my first name, and they can connect with me. I am pretty big on social media and online, so it's not hard to find me. And I also have an Instagram page. Just gotta type in my name, and it will come up in Google.
Okay, amazing. And your books, they are available on Amazon, or where are they?
Yeah, they are available at Amazon. They are also available on my Facebook, on my page, on my website. Just Google my name, and they should be able to find it. And I hope that they will enjoy the books, and I hope that I will put out more books. And I really want to help other women publish their own books, publish their own children's books, because I can't possibly write fast enough. And there's a need for good children's books, and I want other women to write children's books.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, well, thank you so much for this conversation.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. If you have any questions regarding to health or mindset, please don't hesitate to contact me. I will always answer you, and I'm basically everywhere. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube. You can send me an email at info@pusuitofhealthiness.com, and I have a couple of challenges going on, free challenges on my website www.pusuitofhealthiness.com. I also have a program called The Ultimate Lifestyle, where I coach you, where I guide you and support you to make the ultimate lifestyle change. If this sounds like you, then definitely check out my website, and otherwise I will see you next episode.